That's a good one.
What up with that?
That's a good look. No, but we all good with the mic. Everything good?
I think so.
We're due. I appreciate you coming on.
Of course.
Like I remember the first time that
This guy's got a small head.
I met you. Whose head is this?
Lucas.
Oh, okay. I remember the first time that I met you. It was at the involvement fair, spring semester, or something like that. Spring semester of our freshman year. And I was walking around campus. I just saw you were tabling. It was probably with Kenny, but I didn't really know Kenny at the time. And you guys were tabling flag football. And I'm like,
Was it? So our freshman year?
It was freshman.
Yeah, it wasn't even Kenny.
then I don't even know.
No.
It might have just been you.
It was Lucas,
Oh,
Kaz, Frankie.
because they used to
Because
go.
they were the originals. They were the originals who was supposed to run this.
Right, so it was you and somebody.
Idea with me.
Right,
So-
and then they transferred out.
Yeah, then Kenny was supposed to be the offensive coordinator. And then when they had failed out, Kenny took Kaz's role as the vice president and that coach. So Kaz was supposed to be Ken.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. Okay, well, yeah, so it was you and whoever. And I'm walking past and I just see flag football. And I'm like, dude, I got a little football, like, whatever. I was like, I think it was like a couple of weeks before the semester even ended. And I was like, I'm just going to put my name down, like, whatever. Middle of the summer comes. I hadn't even thought about it at all. It's like a week before classes start in August. I'm sitting at home and I get the email from, I guess it was you.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, hey, like, join the group me if you're interested in club flag football. Actually, no. I DM'd the club. I DM'd, I think, you. I DM'd somebody and I was like, hey, like.
It could have been the account.
It might have been
I
the
know
account.
I had the account running by the time we had gotten back here last year.
Then, yeah.
I just wanted people to have an outlet.
No, so it might have been the account then because I emailed or DM'd the account. I was like, hey, like, I'm interested, like, how do I join? You said someone sent me a group me, like, I joined that. And then I remember the first week of practices or whatever, you were like first week of classes, you texted in the group me, like, all these people, you're like, hey, like, me and Frank are sitting with four balls, just run routes. And I was sitting on a Saturday and I was like doing nothing, whatever, let's just go play some football. And then I think about that so often when it comes to flag, because I'm just like, dude, like, without that, I feel like that day was like we started to become friends. And I felt like now that, like, I live with you and, like, we're as close as we are, it's just an interesting story. And now we're going to Massachusetts.
Yeah.
So, like, I guess, first of all, congrats.
Thank
I
you.
mean, just getting this far with your club, that means something. Does that come with pressure coming into a tournament like this? Like, do you feel, as the quarterback and as the president of the club, do you feel pressured to succeed? Because it's
So I guess I'll talk about it as far as the president first, and that I can dabble into the quarterback side. Last night, I sent a text to the coordinators and stuff like that, and I said, we need to meet after practice, after I'd received the schedule at 11:30 at night, as I was like, we need to meet, because instantly I felt the pressure hit my shoulders. It wasn't
real.
It was real. To see Oswego State versus, BU, I was like, oh, okay, like, this is real. And it had nothing to do with me as a player. It had everything to do with, like, from where I started it, from where it came to, like, oh, like, like, at the end of the day, like, can I swear?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, it was like, oh shit, like, at the end, like, this was the goal. Like, when I had pitched in those meetings, it was go to NERSA, it was go to this thing, it was this big, broad idea. It didn't happen last semester. I was disappointed in it, but it was always the goal of, maybe last year we probably should have gone to NERSA. Last year, I was kind of happy we didn't go, because at the end of the day, I think we would have been in way too over our heads. Right. So it was almost like last year, it was a year to develop a program and build a program, and I had thought just how I wanted to build a program, what I wanted the program to look like, how I wanted this thing to out-survive me. And then all of a sudden, it was like last night, like I said, I got that schedule, and it was all of a sudden like, shit.
Yeah.
Like, everything I had, you know what I mean? Like, I probably put more into this club than I do my schoolwork in some points. Like, especially this last semester. And then I guess as far as, like, the player, there's always that added pressure, like being the quarterback, right? Like, it's a tough position. It's the guy everyone looks to. And for me, it was always, I didn't want people to see me as the quarterback and be like, he got it because he's the president, right? So I have that pressure. I need to go succeed and be the best quarterback on the field because I don't want people to think this was a friend's decision or me coming into a meeting and be like, no, I'm the quarterback. Screw that guy. So I always felt the pressure of I need to go succeed. I need to be the best quarterback on that field. And now with it, this weekend, I need to be the best quarterback on those fields against all those teams, which I feel I can be. And it's just, it's a wild bag there. I don't know what I'm doing until I'm doing it. Like I'm a very reactive player.
Well, I think that's from what I've seen. I've said this too. I think that's where you're best is when you're just out there and just running and gunning, and reading defenses and reading routes instead of thinking. I think when you think about it too much, then you start thinking about the pressure. You start thinking about like the do's and don'ts.
I like my favorite thing is like when I can. One of my threats is my lanes. Like I can. I'm not the fastest. I'm not like
far from.
But no, like I can't really juke. But like somehow I can make some things happen. And when I get teams that see this and start playing up on me, and I think my rushing ability opens the door for my receivers. It leaves like I've seen guys like corners leave their man because they think I'm going to take it and I can just flick it up over the top.
Yeah.
So I think just with that ability, and like at the end of the day, man, like I think my icebreaker when we first started flag football was, and I always tell this story, it was I watched too much Josh Allen and it's not good for me. And everyone was just kind of like, what? And I was like, you'll figure it out. And you were one of the first ones that came up to me. You're like, no, I understand. And I'm going to throw a pick. I'm going to make a stupid play. I'm going to try to pitch something I should have done. If it works, I'm the hero. Sometimes if it don't, I put my team in a crappy position, but I'm always going to be the guy that's going to run us back down that field after I made that mistake.
Yeah.
And just, it's how it is. It's how I play ball. I'm not going to change it. You're not going to make me a pocket passer. You're not going to make me a player that I'm not. So,
yeah. Well, I think Josh is a pretty good example of a quarterback that you might want to watch. Hey, dude. What's up, Zinni? Guys, for people watching, this is our cat, Zinni. Dylan's cat. Want to come up here, Zinni? If not,
yeah, he's like, I don't know. Don't take my mic.
Taking the mic, yeah. No, but I mean, always taking my mic now. So you obviously you played high school football too. You played varsity. When did you start playing football? What was your first introduction to competitive like tackle football? Tell me that story.
I didn't start playing until my freshman year of high school. I went to a small Catholic school. There was no football. Just wasn't interested in it at a young age. Started playing in my freshman year. I started at wide out, and then
really,
yeah, I was a wide out.
Gotta be because of your height. That's it.
Yeah, it was. I was in the slot a lot. I learned early on in the slot like what a quarterback needs and like what he wants and stuff like that. And I just kind of became that guy, like the little check down guy and stuff like that. And that's kind of where I started learning like the physicality. I'm like, I'm not going to be a guy that's going to juke you. I'm just going to be a guy that's going to put my shoulder down. And if I pick up 4 more yards because I just ran a guy over, then that's fine. And then I think when I was on JV my freshman year, we would always have to go to the varsity games on Fridays to like just be water boys and be there and stuff like that. And we'd always throw the rock around and just have some fun and stuff in the sidelines. One of my coaches, Coach Shale, he saw me throwing around. He's like, I think you're playing the wrong position. So you should think about quarterback. And after that conversation, I was like, okay. And I never went back to receiver. My senior year, we were bad. So I always joke I played the Taysom Hill position. Like I'd be the quarterback and then I go line up at tight end and then I go line up at receiver. Then I come back to tight end. Then I'd line up as a fullback and block for an arc. Like I was all over the field, which I liked. And that was fun. And again, that just taught me the physicality of my game. Like it sucks sometimes that I was just talking about it. Like with playing flag, like I don't have my pads on. I can't dive and run people over and stuff. So like it's been a learning adjustment, but I still try to use my physicality to my best. I can take some hits in the pocket and stuff like that. And so
yeah, that's what's going to be my next question. Like, how did the trade? Because I played football for 1 year. I played freshman year of high school. I played wideout. We had this kid on my team. This kid goes to Samson Joseph. He one of the fastest kids I've ever, like one of the fastest kids in New York State. Like just we had the ball to him probably 30, 40 times a game. Like dude ran for like 200 some yards every game. Like just absolute stud, freak athlete. Runs track now. I've got like I think maybe like 5 targets all year.
Yeah.
I think I got 2 touchdowns, a 2-point.
yeah,
I dropped one Friday Night Lights, dude. We were it was JV and or no, I'm sorry, this is 8th grade, not freshman year, 8th grade. So 8th grade team and Friday Night Lights. They were like, oh, you guys are playing like the Friday night spot because like the varsity team was away or whatever. We had a makeup game. I was like, hell yeah, under the lights, fans. I think my aunt was at that game, and we ran a pass play. It was a little rainy that night. I ran a pass play. I ran a nice little corner route, dude. Quarterback's one of my best buddies to this day. He throws me the ball a little low, off the hands. I was like, God, you can't make this shit up. I get under the lights and I drop it. But so I didn't really have a ton of experience playing football. For someone who played it for 4 years and adjusting the flag, like you just mentioned some like the differences in physicality. What's like the hardest part of it to like when you started like to this day? Like what's the hard part about being quarterback for flag? I guess maybe it's a little different because you're quarterback. I don't know.
For me, it's the ability to escape the pocket, and I was never a guy that was going to get tackled on the first go. I was going to, like I said, run through you, try to jump, move my legs so you weren't going for my legs to tackle me. And I wasn't fast. I was a physical runner. So that's kind of been the biggest adjustment to me. It's like they can just grab my flag. Like, and it's like, I know if they didn't grab my flag, I probably could have got 10 more yards because of how I was seeing the field. Sometimes I see the field like I am still playing with my pads and stuff like that. And I mean, like as far as like the quarterback position, like in flag, like it's fundamentally, it's the same thing, right? Like you get your snap, you drop back and you throw it. Like that's what it is. But it's the creating plays, like the playmaker ability, right? Like you can roll out and stuff, but you got to remember, like all guys got to do is pull your flag. Like he's only got to go like this. I can't, if a guy's coming at me like this, in regular football, you can kind of step back, you can stiff arm him to throw him back the other way, you know what I mean? Put him on the ground. Like you can't do that. Like the ball's got to come out. The ball's got to come out or you just got to go. Like sometimes like when I'm playing, it's like, yeah, I probably could have stand behind the line of scrimmage and thrown something, found something, right? But sometimes when you just get your legs moving, you just got to go. Like, because you don't have that time and the confidence to be able to like stiff arm someone and be like, oh, okay, like I can stand here, watch this guy go flying by me, push him, you know what I mean? Like, and then read the field. Like, it's almost like your legs get moving. Like you're either throwing it on the move or you gotta go. Like you gotta go.
Do you think that you mentioned to me like that your offensive line was terrible? Do you think that like having that like amount of like that little amount of time then helps you now? Because flag,
for sure.
The one thing I've noticed, flag is just it's fast. Like
it is.
Because for people who don't know, with flag you can't really make much contact, especially not on the line. It's just kind of like setting a screen is the way that we have to say it. So you don't have time, and they get in the backfield quick. So you think that helps?
Oh, for sure, yeah, for sure. Just like if a defender's coming this way, you can step up. You know what I mean? Like, and it definitely sped up my internal clock a little bit. Like, I get you got to rip it. You got to rip it. And sometimes I like to hold on to it a little longer than I should. But even just the last 2 weeks of just like, Peyton being like anticipation and just throw it. Like, he tells me all the time, like, and I'm thankful for a coach like Peyton because he tells me all the time, like, he's like, Dill, I don't care if you throw a pick on the right read. He's like, you made the right read. He goes, sometimes the defender's going to make a better play. Sometimes the ball came out funny. He goes, what I'm going to be upset about is if you didn't make the right read and you're trying to force it. So with that, it instills a sort of confidence in myself to be like, even just like the last few practices, I feel myself more scanning a field and left to right, and you know what I mean? Or I got two guys here right to left, and not just locking in on a guy. And that comes with, you know what I mean, with your number one receiver being hurt like he is right now. Like, I have to scan a field, which, I mean, I'm never going to pray for someone to get hurt. But, you know, right now, like with Coop being hurt, it's honestly helped. It's not worrying about where's Coop on every play. So,
yeah, I think it's noticeable. Like, from my perspective, it's noticeable the adjustments you've been making as far as getting the ball out quicker and the reads you're talking about. And I think that's actually fun. I was going to segue into this a little bit. And you've taken a bit of a backseat role from the coaching perspective this year. How has that helped you, and how is that also hard for you sometimes? Because I know you like to coach.
I like to coach. I like to coach. I want to be a coach.
And you're a good coach.
I want to be a coach.
Really?
Like, whether that's me just having a son and just coaching with him throughout, you know, his football career, if he chooses to play football, you know what I mean? Like, or whatever it is. Like, yes, football is the game I know most, but like, I like coaching. I like helping someone and seeing it work on a field. As far as what I've liked, I like turning the reins of the offense over to a guy like Peyton, who can stand on the sidelines and see the field, where it's not just me being like, I wasn't looking at the left half of the field, what happened over there? You know what I mean? I have a guy now that saw the whole field, and he can be like, no, check to this, and he can call out the checks and stuff. So it slows the game down a little bit for me, and it's not me getting in a huddle and being like, okay, what happened here? You know? But that being said, too, like, I see myself as, you know, with the quarterback, I am a coach. Like, I coach my receivers up. This is where I'm going to put the ball. Like, it may not me be like, run this route at this time. Like, it's me being like, okay, when you throw when you're running this corner route and this corner is sitting back, like, I'm going to have to put it here. You know what I mean? So, like, I still get my coaching as far as that and stuff. Like, I say, like, I just kind of took the CEO spot of, like, an NFL team. Like, I don't make decisions on who's going to play. I don't make decisions on scheme. Like, I can give my input on who I would like on the field and stuff like that. But that's me giving my input as a quarterback. Like, I want this guy in this position because I feel like I can get him the ball better here and stuff like that. But, I mean, like I said, like, I guess the challenges of it is kind of sometimes if you don't agree with what the other coaches are doing, you kind of got to bite your tongue, you know, and
I know that's hard.
It is, you know, and it's not because, like, I trust my coaches, you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, like, I hired those guys, I brought them in, but, like, the other aspect of it too is, like, this club's my baby, you know what I mean? Like, I want it to succeed. I want this thing to last after I leave. And it starts with coaches and then trickles down. So
yeah,
kind of taking that step back has been tough, but I think it's helped me better as a player.
Okay. So, as far as the club lasting after you, because that's another point I wanted to hit on. Like, we've talked about this, like, obviously, like, in the past, and I know that's one of your big goals with all this, as it should be. I think we're one of the fastest growing clubs on campus, like, especially club sports. Like, we had, like 60 new people at the beginning of this semester? Like, obviously, that's trickled down because, you know, people try and they don't like it, whatever. Yeah. But at the beginning, after that involvement fair, we had, like, 50 to 60 new people in the group chat? So, I mean, look, we're juniors, so we got one more year in us. So does Kenny. Is Peyton a junior too?
We got a lot of guys that are gonna be able to stick around for a while. Well, again, we're only graduating Andrew here in a month or so. Paulie and Brad in the second semester. Which those are big players. Those are three key varsity players. Two of them are captains, right? Like those are. Andrew's going to be a hard body to replace. He's going to be a hard player to replace. I was just talking to Scott about it. The chemistry I have with Andrew it's better than the chemistry I have with my receivers.
Yeah.
Like, Paulie, same thing. I see the two of them up there, and I know I have time. You know, Brad, I know he's going to go make a play on defense. Like, I know, like, he has RT. He had 4 sacks.
He's scary.
I hate going against him in practice. I hate going against him in practice. He gets in your head, too. He's like a little Max Crosby. Like, he gets in your head, and
he kind of looks like Max Crosby.
Yeah. and with us being young, it gives me hope that I still have like 3 semesters left to really make it survive.
How do you plan on doing that? Do you have do you think about that? A lot.
All the time. I think about who can replace me as the president, who can, take this vision I have and continue it. And, I have a few ideas of guys and stuff like that. I mean, in a grand scheme of things, I would not like to be president next year.
Really?
I would like to kind of hand it off to someone younger so that I can still be there.
Like a mentor.
Yeah, and kind of like maybe like a co-president role that I can just help them as far as like the paperwork's a lot. The planning, the practices and stuff like that. It's a lot, and it is a daunting task. Like I didn't expect it to be as much as it was when I took over, so I can only imagine what it's going to be like for someone else. But like, you got to get a culture, and you got to build a culture, and you have to build a program that even if, the president may not be, I don't even want to say to the standard I am, because I still don't think I'm at the standard that I want to be. It can still survive. It can still run. Like, there's expectations, fall, nurse up, spring, you're making a tournament with RIT or wherever you're just trying to find some games, right? Like, the big things fall is nurse up. So like once you set those expectations and like, hey, you're going to practice 3 times a week. Your goal is to get to nurse up. I would like to say that the offense will say the same, but it may not, because the offense geared towards me at quarterback. It's geared towards go, just get the ball. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. It's things I think about. I don't have to really think about it yet, but no, it's in the back of my mind. I think about it.
I think naturally too, though, because like you said, like you called it your baby, and that's what it is. Like, this is I don't know many people who have just started their own club team. Like, you think about club teams, especially club sports. Like, people start clubs all the time. You start a club sports team, I feel like that's not super common.
No.
And especially, to do that is an accomplishment in itself, and to have it last beyond you is the next step.
I don't know. Like, I joke about it all the time. I had the idea on a random Tuesday morning. I don't know what made me have the idea. I don't, maybe the guy upstairs, just planning the idea in my head. It happened, and I ran with it, and, I can't look back now. I'm going to the main goal this weekend. So,
yeah, I'm going to tell, I've told you this a bunch. I'm just going to tell it to people watching it. Flag football here at Oswego, for me, like 90% of my friends stem from flag football. I think,
but that's what I wanted.
Like, without this club team, I probably would have transferred out of here. Like, after my freshman year, I really just wasn't vibing with the school. I wasn't enjoying it, and like I said, if it wasn't for that fall semester last year, there's a good chance I wouldn't be here. And like, I'm so grateful that I am, and I know that.
Appreciate it. But that story is, like, that's where I want it to be for guys. You know what I mean? Like you said, a lot of my friends now, like Paulie, you know what I mean? Like, we dragged him in, and now we're good friends with Andrew. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Brad, like, I don't know. I don't know if I would have met the guys, or even like it's getting as close as I am with Kenny. You know what I mean? Like, I got close with Kenny because of football and stuff like that. And like, just the things that came out of it. Like, it is cool. And if kids can give it that shot, then it's, like Dom, he's a freshman. You know what I mean? He talks to the guys at football all the time. You know what I mean?
I see him everywhere.
You see guys on campus, you dab them up, stuff like that. But it can be cool. I didn't really have sports growing up. You know what I mean? Other than high school. Like, I didn't really play sports, right? I wasn't a sports guy.
We'll get into it.
Yeah. I don't know what clicked in my head to make me one, but I did, and it's cool.
Yeah. Well, I think it's awesome. And this weekend, like, I'm just so on geeks. Like, as we're getting closer, I called my mom yesterday. I called her today. I'm like, Mom, I can't wait to go to Mass. I should play new teams and play, be competitive, and just like with the guys who we've been practicing for like.
Hate a guy across the.
Yeah, that's what I all the time. There's somebody who I can just hate. Like, don't like you. I want to beat you. That's I can't wait, man. It's gonna be a good weekend. But let's talk about it. So you said you were not a big sports guy growing up. I just found this out like a few weeks ago, literally a few weeks ago. I mean, I saw you had the record player and all the records down there that are off camera right now, but you were a big theater kid.
Yeah, I was a theater kid in high school. Throughout middle school, I was a competitive dancer.
That's crazy.
Tap, hip hop, jazz, lyrical was kind of like my.
Oh shit!
Mm-hmm. It was fun. I mean, I still, I'm friends with a lot of
Can you
those.
still do it?
Tap, I always say, is like riding a bike. Like I could put on some tap shoes and probably still go and do it. You know what I mean? It may be rusty. The other stuff, no. My body isn't where I was very. I don't want to say thin, but I mean, I was smaller. Like I was more. Like, you know what I mean? Like abs, and like I was able to move in different, like I could do a split. I could move in different ways.
Do a split?
Yeah, oh yeah. Now I can't, you know what I mean? Like my body's taking the wear and tear of football and stuff like that. So I lost some stuff like that, but like we watch Dance with the Stars and stuff like that. Like if I were to go and do a competition like that, yeah, I could probably figure it out again.
Dude, you should.
Yeah.
Yeah. That like after you graduate or something, you should just for fun.
Like I said, tap, like I could go put tattoos on now and because that's like riding a bike. Like that's, you know what I mean? But like I always tell the story too, like when my first start at quarterback was my sophomore year. And there was just, I mean, I had the highlights and stuff like that of just like I said, guys going for my feet and my legs and the balance I had from it was awesome. And the JV head coach at the time had gone up to the varsity head coach, and the varsity head coach had told me this. He said, I don't know where Dylan gets that balance from. That's like, it's cool to see guys go for his legs and he's not going to go down.
Yeah.
And the varsity coach had laughed. And he was like, you don't know, do you? And he's like, no, what? He was like, that kid was a competitive dancer for like 6 years. Like his balance, like I don't fall. Like I don't fall. I stay on my feet. And he was like, no way. And like, I will always say, like, I think dance helped me in football with, like I said, my balance and the agility. Like when you go and do a dance, like it's a 3-minute song, right? Like normally bare minimum is like 2:30, right? You're going, like it's 3 minutes straight. Like there's no breaks. You are on that stage the whole time. And I think that's where my sense of, like, I say all the time, like what I'm going to do with football and stuff like that, I don't got people really watching me. I got people on the sidelines who, in a sense, like as rude as it may sound, they don't matter. You know what I mean? Like when I was dancing, I was doing this in front of professionals. Like I was like, I said, like with Dance with the Stars, like Derek Hough, like he was at one of the competitions, like he was a judge. You know what I mean? Like, so like when you get, so like nothing really fazed me. You know what I mean? Like, and then like that transitioned into theater in high school. You know what I mean? Like I didn't really, I mean, I'll talk about it, but I didn't really care about like who was in the audience. You couldn't see. You know what I mean? Like so I didn't get stage fright. I mean, I guess the only stage fright, because like I had quit the end of my 7th grade. I had gone to Disney, danced at Disney, did the whole dance in front of the castle, got trained by professional Disney dancers and stuff like that. So that was peak, right? There was nothing that was going to top it. I retired after the Super Bowl, right? Like that's what it was for me. I had joined volleyball and basketball my 8th grade year to just kind of, play with my boys and get closer with my boys. And I'm thankful I did that. So I kind of got my competitiveness that way. Going into my freshman year, I played football. And I didn't know if I was going to do theater. And then some people I knew at, known I did like local theater and stuff like that. And one of my biggest mentors and stuff like that, his name is Mr. Mashi, and my buddy Zach, who's like my best friend to this day. He's living in California. He's making things happen. I'm so proud of him. But he dragged me into Mr. Mashi's classroom, and he was like, "Oh, you're gonna audition, Alex." I'm like, "Okay," you know what I mean. So I auditioned. I got a role in the play. Whatever, right? Kind of thought it was gonna end there, and then I auditioned for the musical, and then with that came the pressure of like, You know what I mean? Like I always, I'll make the joke that I was my high school's Troy Bowling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there was a sense of like my whole college essay and stuff like that was the fear of like the football guys. What would they think and stuff like that? And I just learned that it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It really does not matter. Who cares what those guys are gonna think of you? I had fun with the theater kids just like they were my football guys. Like that was my family. That was, you know what I mean? Like it was just like going on a Friday night. You were getting prepared for Friday night. We were getting prepared for opening night. It was the same like gel and work ethic, and there were definitely times where it was tough, like coming straight from football practice to go do a musical. Is that what I wanted to do? No, but I did it because I loved them both. And there were times where it was tough, but it was cool. Like just to see some of the football guys that would go to the shows. Be like, there you get like, like yeah, DJ Z, like when I would go on and stuff like that. So it was cool. You have your stupid little jokes and stuff like that. As far as like, what are you gay? You know what I mean? Like, dude, like that's so old school, bro. Like you see now, like I keep bringing up Dancing with the Stars. You have like Danny Amendola right now. He's in the top 5. Like. These football guys, like they're going to do it because they think it's cool. It's a different way to, like that's such an old school way of thinking. I was never about that and stuff like that. And, like I said, there were times where it was tough. You know what I mean? Like you would want to quit theater to stick with football or quit football to stick with theater. And I did it all. And I loved every second of it. You know what I mean? Like probably the worst was when I played Donkey and Shrek, and I was dressed up as Donkey.
I need to see the footage.
Yeah,
man. I need to see the footage. You should have made that your Halloween costume this year.
Yeah,
but that would have been
that costume sitting in my closet at home. I stole that.
You still fit?
Yeah, I probably still fit in.
I see now.
I stole that one. I always take a little something from it.
So that year was the costume itself.
Yeah, I took the costume that year. Football, I took my jerseys.
And picking up all
I took my jerseys. Still had my first pair of cleats at home. I like to just keep something. You know what I mean? It's cool just to, remember about it. I have playbills signed by people and stuff like that. I like having it. You know what I mean? I haven't done theater in, going on 3 years now and stuff like that. I miss it, but just kind of locked in the flag as a one something that right now. They're not saying if there was ever an opportunity to go do something and a character I've always wanted to play, I'd probably would.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to ask you. I was gonna say, like, do you miss it? You just said you did.
Oh, for sure. Sure.
Can you see yourself doing it again?
Like, I would love to do it again. Like, there's nothing like getting it. Like, I still think, like, I loved playing Friday Night Lights, but there was nothing like getting on the stage. There's nothing like getting on the stage in front of an audience of, 500 people where, there's nothing like that. But it would have to be right. You know what I mean? Like, it would have to be a character that I'd want to do. And, I want to just go do a show to do a show. You know what I mean? Like, I would have to hear about, like if they were doing Greeks, like I've always wanted to play Danny Zuko. Like I would, if I had heard about it, I'd go audition. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it would time and a place and a character, I guess you could say. So
yeah, I'm not really a big like theater person. Like I want to see more plays and like more Broadway shows. I think Broadway is one of the coolest things. Like I saw the Harry Potter and the Cursed Child one a couple years ago. That was awesome. I'm a big Harry Potter guy.
The last one I saw was Beetlejuice. That was cool.
You love that.
I do love that.
I hear good things, but I've never. I see Harry Potter. I think I may have seen one other one on Broadway, but I don't remember. But I think maybe this winter I'll go see a couple.
Yeah, I will still every once in a while. Like I had like warm up music and stuff like that. There's a few musicals and stuff in there and stuff. It mainly consists of like Elvis and.
Well, that's your guy.
Yeah, that is my guy. But it mainly consists of like Elvis. There's a few like I like to get calm before the storm. You know what I mean? If I listen to amp up stuff, I'm probably just like out there and do something dumb. You know what I mean? I like to calm myself so I can calm down and get into a game, opposed to being like listening to rock and getting all amped up. the first play, I'm gonna try to throw and go ball, and something's gonna happen because I'm not locked into the game yet.
So how did you warm up for theater? Was there a ritual you did?
Yeah. A lot of the guys, we would listen to four chords, I think it was called. There's these four chords. It's a song called Four Chords, and it's pretty much a 6-minute song, and it's the most famous four chords. I don't remember what it is, but like these guys wrote it and stuff like that. But it's the most famous four chords throughout all of music, and it goes for 6 minutes, and it's a bunch of different songs and stuff like that. And we would just scream it and belt it before. And that with like theater, I kind of like to get amped up a little bit more, because if you go out there flat, it shows. Yeah. So you like to get your energy high for that one. It's weird. You think it would be kind of the other way around for me, but like I said, I like to be calm before football, amped up before I go to the show.
What was your favorite character you ever played, and why? You're probably gonna say someone that I don't even know.
No, like I did Wizard of Oz. I liked the Scarecrow.
That's cool.
He was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun playing that character. We did a show. Why am I blanking on the show? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the show name. But I played. That's so embarrassing. I don't about that. Oh my god, if anyone from home listens to that, they're gonna Peter and Starcatcher.
Okay.
It was pretty much the prequel to Peter Pan, and I played Captain Hook. And I mean, full disclosure, like when going into it, I wanted to play Peter Pan. Like it was my senior year, I wanted to be the guy that became Peter Pan, and there were 2 new directors. There was a massive turnover in the theater department, and I got Captain Hook, and I was kind of like, what?
Yeah.
Like really? Like I'm not even gonna be the main character. I'm like, I did all this, like put in my time. Like it's my senior year. I wanted the character I wanted. I was so pissed. I showed up to read through the first script. I'm just sitting there reading like the book. I'm so pissed, right? I ended up loving the character. It's probably the best character I've ever done.
Really?
I've ever done. Like the amount of time and understanding the character, and like being able to, like I took Jack Sparrow and I took Captain Hook, and I took like, he was a very theatrical character. So I took like, the Shakespeare poses and like this with the hands, and like, but then I would do like every time I'd run, I'd do like the Jack Sparrow, like run with your hands, like you're almost dropped. Like it was cool. There was a lot of time put into that one and stuff like that. I had to dress up as a mermaid for one of them.
Really?
Go drag, yeah.
Dude, I need to see this. Like,
Aiden Littleman's got me a sweatshirt with a picture. As we're talking, I'll pull it up.
Yeah.
Aiden's got me a hat with a sweatshirt with me as
like
the mermaid, and like flexing my muscles.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's actually hilarious.
I will find the picture.
I think it's just so. I was gonna talk about like the dynamics between like football friends and theater friends, because you don't see that often. Like it's almost like there's like the theater kids, like the artsy people, and like the sports people, and like it's just like naturally it's. In no offensive way towards anybody, it's just like kind of the way that high school and even college
they don't really match.
They don't match, and that's okay. But you kind of play both sides of the fence and played both sides of the fence. And I mean, I don't know if there's any. I think it feels like here in college, everybody. Like I'd say somebody's name, you're like, oh yeah, that's this, and I'm like, how the fuck? How do you know this person? So like you are, very personable guy. You're friends with everybody. You talked about some of like the struggles that came with, but you also talked about how like the football guys kind of came.
That was me tap dancing in that show.
That's you there. Oh my god! Can I put that on the video?
Yeah.
Send that to me.
I'll screenshot them right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna put these up on the screen because that's gold, dude. It looks great, by the way.
Yeah,
that looks awesome.
It was a good show.
Yeah, but
people told me multiple times I went to see that show that they were like, that was probably the best one that was done in your 4 years of being there. So cool, baby.
So. I guess what I was going to say was, do you like one more than the other, football versus theater? Or even dancing?
No, I mean, no matter what I was doing, I always had, like, my family in it. Like, I always had my family in theater. I always had my family in dance. I always had my family in football. You know what I mean? Oh, they didn't take pictures. That's right. Of the mermaid, because they wanted to save it as a shock thing. I will find a picture.
Yeah.
But I forgot they did that.
It's okay.
I'm just, I like people, you know what I mean? Like it's cool, you know what I mean? Like I always find people that match my vibes and stuff like that. And I'll never say no to being friends with someone unless I just don't really agree with your morals and stuff like that. But I like to meet people. Yeah, I mean, there was never really. I mean, yeah, like with football, you would have more of your jocks. You know what I mean? And then in theater, you'd have more of your theater kids and stuff like that. But like I said, I just brought up Zach. Like he's one of my best friends. He played soccer. I played football. At the end of the day, like I don't know how much people know about like high school football. Those guys aren't really supposed to get along. Like they get mad that we take the field all the time, right? But I met him through theater, and now and then our other buddy Alex, like he was at the pit. Like those are still two of my best friends right now. Like Zach got me into doing media and stuff like that, like with Mr. Mashi, and in his classroom was the wax.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. The SD card was full, so we had to clear that off and come back. But we were just wrapping the conversation about kind of like the theater kids versus like the football kids and like that whole dynamic. But like I said, I think it's awesome that you were able to just kind of find like the middle ground of that.
Yeah, like I said, it was just finding my friends and my people within every group that I was in and stuff like that. So like I said, with theater, like it was Zach and Alex. Like I met my ex through theater and stuff like that. And football, like I still talk to a lot of those guys to this day and things like that. So yeah, dance, I still talk to them, at least keep tabs on them and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that speaks a lot to your character, just to be able to do that in your situations. And I guess speaking of character, this is kind of out of left field bias, but you're tatted a little bit. You have a lot of tattoos, and I was thinking about it. Do you want to explain them a little bit? Because I know you have like, I mean, the Buffalo ones, that's just for home. Like,
yeah, no, that one's just for like home and stuff like that, and like the Buffalo Bills. So like with it's the retro Bills design and stuff like that. So like if the Bills were ever, God forbid, leave Buffalo or switch up the logo or whatever, I can still just be like, hey, it means Buffalo. This one, it's a little harder to see, but it's TCB. It's taking care of business. It's Elvis's logo. I got this little lightning bolt on my hand. Me and my sister and one of my best friends got that when we were up here for Harbor Fest. This was my first one, Never Grow Up. I got it with my mom. She's got Peter Pan, Fly the Kids Up to Neverland. This one's probably my favorite right now. That one was just fun and spontaneous.
Yep.
This one right here, my whole family's got it. It's the I love you sign with our last name, like Z, so that's our last initial. Then this guy, he'll be hard to see, but it's a little duck with a knife in his mouth.
I was there for that one. I was like,
a duck with a knife in his mouth. So I think that's.
Yeah. You want to get more?
Oh yeah. I mean, I want to have this.
What's a full sleeve?
Yeah.
They're expensive.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
My buddy at home, he's got a full. He wants like a full leg sleeve. He got like one knee and the calf. Dude, they're like $700.
They're cheaper out near me. But like this was only like $200.
Yeah, he goes to the city. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. But yeah,
I love them.
Yeah, you like.
Oh yeah.
Well, I like how you have a meaning behind them because like I think a lot of people like just get this to get them because it's fun. Well, like, we all gotta have one of the fun ones, right? But I like how you have like Well, I like how you have like the meaning, especially like your family. That's really cool. And I guess the last.
I got one on my chest too.
Oh, do you?
It's It's hard to see. It just says, "I'll be there for you." And then my sister has, "Cause you were there for me too."
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That.
I always forget about this.
That's sweet, man.
I always forget about this one because it's just not visible.
It's all I mean, that's awesome. I love the meaning behind those. And it was one of the places I wanted to go before we wrapped. I'm trying to think of it. Just so for this tournament this weekend, obviously, just to kind of come full circle to that. We got 2 games definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we want the goal is to win. Mm-hmm. This is our first tournament. This is the first time I've ever really played like anybody other than RIT, essentially. How do you view this weekend as far as like a benchmark for the program? Like as far as like success, like is success in this program, is it like win or is it like we either win or we fail? Or at this point, do you look at it a little bit differently from your perspective?
I mean, I don't want to say win or we fail, right? Because like at the end of the day, like, yeah, wins are cool and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, it's our first time being there. You know, we don't know what the competition's like. So I don't want to say we're going to go win the whole thing and then we don't. And automatically everyone feels a sense of failure because it's not what it is. You know, like my bare minimum obviously is to win one game. You know what I mean? That's bare minimum. But I want the guys to go and have fun and score some touchdowns. Like I said, there's kids on that team who never played a sport and they don't understand like that feeling of what it's like to score a touchdown and to, you know, make a big play for your team and stuff like that. Like just the other week against RIT, like Paulie had his, you know, his pick six. And I mean, he never got to experience that, you know, like he never got to experience what it was like to make a big play and a game shifting play for your team and stuff like that. Like, yeah, like I know what it's like to score touchdowns. I know what you know what I mean? Like, know what it's like to make a play in a big moment. But there are guys on the team who like you know what I mean? Like you only played in 8th grade and stuff like that. Like, you know, I would I want like Coop, you know what I mean? Like Coop's made big plays and big moments and he knows what that feels like. But like I said, there are kids that, you know, Andrew's never played football. He doesn't know what it's like to go where it's like pressure's on, you know what I mean? Like you can't mess up, you know? So I want guys making plays. I want guys flying around. I want, you know, those big plays to happen. Like I said, I would like to go win the whole thing and stuff like that. But if guys go and if we go and we lose and I can confidently hang my hat on, we did everything we could. We just got beat. Yeah. I'm happy. That being said, if we go and I throw 4 interceptions and I throw a game-losing pick and I lose, I'm going to be pissed because I cost my team a win, right? I didn't do what we needed to do to win. So I want to win, yes, like I said, like, but we got to look at it like we're hyping this thing up, and I'm going to say this to the team later, like we're hyping this thing up, yes, like, but with that being said, we need to take a step back, and it's every play. The last play happened, forget it. What's the next one? The touchdown happened, forget it. What's the next one? Like you always, the NFL guys going like Brady, it's like, what's your favorite ring? And he was like, the next one. You know what I mean? So like we got to dumb it down to the point where it's like, you know, what was your favorite play? The next one. You know what I mean? Like, forget what happened. You missed the block. I got sacked. You know, I threw a pick. Guy drops a ball. Like, you know what I mean? Those things could literally not matter in the grand scheme of things. We go win a game. I don't want guys hitting their heads on. They dropped the ball and they tipped it into the defender's hand, and now there's an interception on my stat sheet. You know, I don't care. You know what I mean? Looking at it as far as like, I guess you can say the delusional. It's like we go win the whole thing, and you know, we go to Florida, and, you know, I was the regional MVP, and you know what I mean? I don't have turnovers, and our coaches did everything correct, and there are no dropped footballs, and there are no sacks, and there's not points scored on defense. You know what I mean? Like, but those are all you got to understand that football, it's a complicated game, whether it's flag football, whether it's actual football. Things are going to happen that you can't control, and you got to control what you can control. But yeah, I love throw a pick.
I love the way you said all that. I think that's it. I mean, personally, I would go to Florida.
Yeah, oh yeah.
No, I never took a little bit.
I didn't too. Yeah. But I gotta, you know what I mean? I gotta keep it left. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, you set that expectation of we're going to win this whole thing, and we're going to Florida. And if it doesn't happen, guys are disappointed. I don't want guys to be disappointed. Like it's a big deal. It's a big, like, we're going, right? Like this is a big deal. This has never happened in Oswego. Like this has never happened for the club. Like it's a big deal. Just going to, you know what I mean? And then if we win, it's an added bonus. I don't want guys to feel the sense of we lost, we failed. You know what I mean?
What? That's a good leadership on there. Like I'm just messing. Like obviously we all want to go Florida. Yeah. But I mean, like that, the way that you describe that makes a lot of sense, especially for a new club and for what you're trying to build here. But
because you got clubs and stuff that are done that before. Right.
Exactly. As you get one playing against Nate, there's how good they are.
I can't even tell. I don't even know if they look.
Right? They were playing. Like there are schools in here that who knows how long these. I mean, flag football is kind of a new thing, but who knows how long these clubs have actually been like operating. So you know,
guys have grown up their whole life playing just flag football. You know what I mean?
Which is crazy. Mm-hmm. Like, cause I never flag football was the thing like I knew about, and I was like, oh yeah, like that's like a men's league kind of thing. But I never knew that it was like a high school sport.
It's becoming bigger now than it ever has. So it's you know, it just got added to the Olympics. That's exciting. You got teams popping up for high schools and sections and states and stuff like that. So it's cool to watch it grow and stuff like that, and just to kind of be like, yeah, like we were a part of that. You know what I mean? I know there are a lot of other schools that don't have that, and maybe they can see this and stuff like that, and see us we go flag football and just be like, yeah, I want to do that. Yeah, so maybe there's another kid out there that was like me, that was just like, I have this idea. It's like, dude, it's possible. We'll do it. You know, people are gonna sign up.
Absolutely. I love that. Well, hopefully we have a good birthday weekend for me. I'm turning 21 this weekend. For those watching, huge weekend, man. You got a month on me, so
It's fun.
Yeah,
It's a good time.
I'll be cozy away in the hotel room as we prepare for Navy at 12:45 the next day. But no, it'll be a great time. But Dill, I appreciate you coming on.
Of course, it.
Much love as always, brother.
course.
Guys, I'll leave all his links in the description.
Mm-hmm.
Those pictures are going to be put up on the screen because they're gold. And make sure you go follow him and show him some love and show Flag Football love too.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll keep in touch with you guys on how this tournament goes. And with that being said, thank you for tuning in to Keep It Real, and I'll see you next week.